Hey, what's up everybody? 3D Theory here. Today is the big day that I finally get to open the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. If you're a 3D printing beginner thinking about picking up this printer or just want to see what all the hype's about, this one's for you. And stick around because by the end of the show, I'll show you how the A1 Mini stacks up against its big sibling, the original A1. First up, unboxing. Let's see what we get with the packaging with the A1 Mini. Just using some scissors here to open it up. And I want to show you the entire process here so you guys get a good idea of what it's about. First things first, it says, please keep this box, which I do. And as we open it, we're greeted with the Bambu Lab logo, and we have two handles here to pull it up out of the box. So I'm actually gonna put this on the floor and do that. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the tape that the bag is attached to, and we'll just lift it up out of the box. And surprisingly, it's pretty light. I thought it was going to be a little bit heavier than this, but it actually feels really, really light. I'm going to pop it up on the table over here. The packaging, super secure. Not a single rattle, which is more than I could say for my kitchen drawers. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to open this bag here. We're greeted with some boxes, which I'm just going to pop right out. And as we unveil the A1 Mini, it seems like there is some more packaging just surrounding it all. Very nice. We get the little toolkit that comes with the A1s as well. I wonder how it differs. Let's take a look. All right, so it definitely does differ. We're getting it in a bag this time. With the bigger sibling, the A1, it comes in like a little package, but it's still nice that we get all the equipment needed for the A1 Mini. After that, some more packaging here, and finally, the A1 Mini. Since I got 5 original A1s, this really does feel small, but not that bad. All right, we always get a nice little gift that comes along with it. And this one actually looks like a motor for the Benchy. That's really cool. Very nice. It's basically like a little motor for a Benchy that you print out so you can make it float in water. All right, next after that, we got the spool holder, disclaimer and safety guide, the filament cleaning tool that comes on the A1s as well. And finally for the A1 Mini itself, boy, oh boy, that is small. It's adorable. Wow. We got some sample filament as well as some PTFE tubing. Other than that, there's not much else but more packaging. Guys, that really is adorable. Take a look side by side. We'll compare build plates once we have it set up. We want to make sure that we take off all the packaging material that keeps it safe. And in all honesty, the tool head looks pretty much exactly the same as the original A1. That build plate is so adorable. It's small. Now let me grab the original A1 build plate and show you the difference. All right, guys, there is the original A1 build plate, and there is the A1 Mini. So it gives you kind of a good idea of the size difference. And I'm just gonna go ahead and continue taking out the packaging material there, and I think there's one in the back. I'm gonna keep the quick start guide in hand so we can set this thing up. And let's see how easy it is to put the build plate on. It lines up perfectly, and there you go. Awesome. Just so you guys get a good understanding of what's all included in the box, let me show you. Here's everything that's included. You got the A1 Mini, the PTFE tubing, couple of pamphlets, the toolkit, the little boat set, spool holder, as well as the tool head cleaner right there. All right, guys, for this next step, we're going to want to turn the A1 Mini around, grab the larger Allen key that comes with it. It comes with the large one and a small one. And there's 2 screws here and 2 screws in the back. And I'm just going to go ahead and unscrew those and take this little support bar off. This ensures safe shipping. All right, guys, so we got that off. Pretty solid piece. All right, guys, so down at the bottom of the build plate, there are 3 screws. Let me show you. They look like that there. And there's another one on that side and one just in the back, but there isn't one on that other corner. And we're basically just supposed to bring this build plate all the way forward and tighten them. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Just going in and tightening them. And I assume this is just to keep the build plate in place. All right, now it's tightened. I love how everything is so neatly labeled. We got the 1 screw needed for the purge wiper from the toolkit, and here's that purge wiper, and we're simply just going to slide that in like that, grab that 1 screw along with the large Allen key and screw it in. All right, guys, it's as simple as that. That's securely in there now. All right, guys, so then we're going to want to go back to our toolkit and grab the spool holder base plate screws as well as the spool holder base plate. And there are 2 screw holes right here where we'll simply just screw in this base plate just like that, and for the other screw as well. All right, guys, they're in there nice and snug just like that. And we'll get our filament spool holder here and just slide it on just like that. The AMS light is actually compatible with the A1 Mini, but we didn't get it with the A1 Mini. I actually only have 1 AMS light, and I have it set up on my original A1 with a top mount system that I 3D printed later on. But maybe we will get an AMS system one of these days for the A1 Mini. But it definitely does come with the 4 PTFE tube ports. All right guys, next we're simply just gonna grab the PTFE tubing, pop it into the hole right there, and we're just gonna choose one of 4 slots here, doesn't really matter, and pop it in there. And back to the toolkit, we're gonna grab this little clip here, and there's just a smaller little hole there for the wire, and the rest of them are for the PTFE tubing. So connect it as you see it, just like that. And the A1 Mini is almost ready. All right guys, so here's my little personal piece of advice here. From someone who has 5 original A1s, I absolutely love the blade that they send you as a scraper tool. However, out of all 5, I only have 1 scraper that won't damage the print bed. And let me tell you how you can tell. So the ones that'll damage your print bed have a taper here, but not on the back. I only have one that has a taper on both sides at the tip of the blade, as you can see going across horizontally like that. Now the one they sent us doesn't have a taper on the back, so this would damage the build plate. So I will not be using this blade that they sent. It still leaves me with only 1 good scraper. And when you do get tapers on both sides, I'll tell you what, it's a really good scraper. When it doesn't have a taper on both sides, it's not really a scraper. At that point, it becomes a razor. And that's why I won't be using the one they sent with the A1 Mini. All right, guys, so wherever you're setting up your A1 Mini, you want to make sure that the build plate has clearance. So enough space to go all the way forward and enough space to go all the way backward without hitting a wall in the back or anything in the front. And last but not least, we just got to take this cap off of the plug here, as well as undo the wire here that's keeping the cable together. Well, just what I would expect from Bambu Lab. The manual's clear, accessories feel solid, and bonus, no missing screws. Off to a good start. All that's left now is to plug it in, press the power button in the back, and let it run through its calibration. And here's that power button in the back, and we have it booting up. I'm just gonna click Start, English, and since we're here in North America, I'm gonna click North America. I'm gonna skip connecting to Wi-Fi, click Agree, skip. We already removed the screws there, and we're just gonna run through the calibration now. All right, guys, so once this thing's finished calibrating, we'll come back and continue the setup. All right, guys, so the calibration is complete, and now the first thing we got is the lubrication of the y-axis. So we're going to go ahead and start that. It says to make sure to use the lubricating oil. All right, guys, and going back to our toolkit, we got our oils and grease. We're just going to need the one that says lubricating oil on it. And what we're going to do now, we're just going to grab our lubricating oil, open it up, and it's sealed. So we're going to cut that open. All right. And once it's cut open, all we're going to do is lubricate it here just like that and push it back and forth a couple of times. And later on when you do this, you're going to want to make sure to wipe it down first. And I also turned off the A1 Mini so that I can move the print bed back and forth. Then we'll do the other side, and we got one go at it. We're going to do another go now, very similar to the A1 as well. And again onto the other side, so we get 2 rounds of it and just bring it back and forth. All right, guys, after lubricating it and turning it back on, we just click done for the lubrication process. Now is where the fun begins. So if you want to get started printing right away, you just go over to print files here. You got benchies, a bag clip, cool little helicopter pulley thing. Oh, and you even got a whistle flute. That's really cool. I actually like that a lot. Remember, we got to add some filament first, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. All right, guys, but before we print anything, we're going to go ahead and load the filament first. So we're going to click filament. Go to edit, make sure you click on whatever you're using. I'm doing generic. And we'll do PLA just by going in and choosing it there. Then we can choose the color. In this case, we're going to be using the filament that they gave us, which is white. And you'll see that it adjusts. Now we can click load. And as this begins to heat up, it'll prompt you with a noise to load the filament. And again, let's say you didn't get yourself a spool of filament. You can use the one that was provided. So we'll use that for now. All right, guys, we're pretty much waiting for that sound to go off, prompting us to load the filament. There you go. That sound went off, and that shows you that you got to load the filament. I'm going to go ahead and open our PLA that they've given us, and I'm just going to go ahead and unwind it here. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it onto the spool holder here and feed it through the tube. This feels kind of different because I'm used to loading it through the top with the original A1, but we're just feeding it up through the tube, and you'll feel it stop and start to pull itself. And once it does, it'll make a noise saying, see if it actually went through the nozzle. It's gonna ask you if it's done or to retry. As you can tell here, nothing came out of the nozzle just yet, so we're gonna click retry. And we're just waiting to see some filament come out of the nozzle. Still nothing's come out, so we'll click retry again. And we're just gonna keep clicking retry until the filament comes out. And it's taken a while for the filament to come out. Now, if it does have a hard time coming out, I like to click retry and kind of push it up until we see filament come out of the nozzle. All right, now we got some filament coming out. That's a great sign, and we got that prompt sound again, and we are done. And what's gonna happen now, this filament's just gonna keep purging out, and once it's ready, it'll just shoot it out there, side of the wiper, and you'll know that this thing is ready to print. There you go, guys, and one thing we're gonna wanna print is a filament purge bucket that looks something like this. Here. So I printed these out for the original A1, and we're gonna have to print one out for the A1 Mini as well. All right, guys, now that the load is complete, I do wanna show you one thing I like to do before prints, and that is, I like to get some 91% isopropyl alcohol, spray the build plate with it, and wipe it with some paper towel. And what that does is it wipes away any potential oils that might have come off of your hand, which will prevent bed adhesion issues, which will make your filament not stick to the bed properly. All right, guys. This is probably the moment you've all been waiting for. So let's go ahead and print something very simple, like a 3D benchy. It says it's going to take 20 minutes and 11 grams of filament. We're going to want to do bed leveling and dynamic flow calibration with the beginning of each print. So I'm going to leave those checked on, and we're just going to click print. So what's going to happen now is this is going to go through calibration as well as a filament flow test. And after that, it'll start its print. All right, guys, this thing is moving really fast. There's one thing I want you to notice, that right here at the edge of the build plate is a little extrusion it does right before every print. So if you guys are wondering what that is, it's just a little test that it runs to make sure everything is flowing properly before it starts to print. All right, guys, so this finished up, and we're just gonna take it off the print bed here. Ooh, it's stuck on there nice and well. Let's take a look at this. It's looking really nice, guys. Overall, it's a really good benchy. And just so that we compare, I'm gonna use the same filament on an original A1, particularly that one right there, and we'll print out one of these benchies for a comparison. All right, guys, so I found the benchy model that came with the A1, put it on the SD card, and now the white PLA filament is being loaded in there, and we'll get it printed out and do a little comparison. All right, guys, we got both of the benchies finished up. Well, the one on the original A1 ran out of filament, so we couldn't get the top finished out over there. But as you can see, it looks good, and this is the one on the original A1, and here's the one on the A1 Mini. Both are looking pretty good and are comparable to each other. So I would say they were almost an equal match. But if you're considering to get the A1 Mini or the larger A1, really I would say the biggest difference is the build plate size. So if you're just starting out, I think the A1 Mini is a great option. My first 3D printer was a Monoprice Mini Delta V2, which was super small, maybe about that big of a circular print area. So this is already bigger, and the quality on this printer is great as well. But if you know you're going to get into bigger prints and you want to have a bigger print area, then you could always go for the A1. So is the Bambu Lab A1 Mini a good beginner 3D printer? Absolutely. Easy setup, quick first print, and no drama. And if you're torn between the A1 and the A1 Mini, hopefully this cleared things up a bit. If you've got more questions or want to see a specific test, drop it in the comments below. If you found this guide helpful or just enjoyed the ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss more honest 3D printing experiences. And by the way, this video was not sponsored. Well, that about wraps it here in the Tiny 3D Print Farm. Until next time, 3D Theory here. Peace, love, and joy.